My book is called The Poet's Wives, and it's about three women. I sometimes think the book would have sold more copies if the apostrophe had been in a different place. So instead of three poets and three wives, it had been one poet married to three different women. But alas, that's not the case. So two of the women existed in real life, and they are Catherine Blake, who was married to William Blake, this great iconic figure of English literature. And I guess, like children all around the world, you possibly encountered William Blake, first of all, through the poem Tiger, Tiger, Burning Bright in the Forest of the Night. Blake was a painter, a printer, a poet, a visionary, a man who as a child believed he saw a tree full of angels, and also believed that once in his own house he saw the face of God in a window. What really, really made me want to write the story of William and Catherine was this. And they had a marriage of 45 years. That's a long, long time. Anybody in the room married for 45 years? Excellent, excellent. You will have to share the secret of that with us afterwards. When William Blake got married to Catherine on their wedding day, he signed the wedding register with his name. And when she came to sign the register, she signed with an X. And from that, we assume that when Catherine married William, she could not read or write. And that struck me as something very, very intriguing. At this precise moment of intimacy, there also was present something that separated. So we know a great deal about William Blake. We know very little about Catherine. And I wanted to bring her out of the shadows of history and into some kind of fictional reality. And the second story is about the Russian poet Osip Mandelstam and his wife Nadezhda. I'm just going to call her Nadia, which she was mostly called. Osip Mandelstam wrote a poem critical of Stalin, and he read it to a group of people in his apartment. And one person in that group reported him, and in 1934 he was arrested. And he was sent into exile, internal exile. When I read that, I asked my wife, Nadia went with him. She didn't have to go with him, but she went with him. And so I asked my wife, if I got sent into exile, would you come with me? And there was a disappointingly long delay. It must have lasted at least a minute before she said, not entirely convincingly, that yes, she would. In 1938, Mandelstam was arrested for the second time and sent to the Gulag. He was physically very frail and ill, and he only survived in the Gulag a matter of months. And this is the most incredible part of the story for me. Nadia, his wife, dedicated her whole life to preserving what he had created. And the only place that she believed was safe was in her memory. She memorized all the poems he had written. And then she tried to live a life, a quiet life, that would not attract attention. She drifted from place to place and tried to stay under the radar of Stalin. And she did. Stalin died in 1953. She outlived him, and she lived to the age of 81.